And I just want to officially welcome everyone for joining us either this morning on Zoom or later on YouTube. I'm really grateful for you, students, and happy to provide this service if it helps in any way. So I invite you to take a seat, and that can be in a chair or on the floor, maybe elevated on a block or a cushion, something that helps you sit well. And by that, consider this description of sitting. How about a seat of dignity? And notice how just saying that word, I saw you on the screen, just kind of lift your chest a little, drop your shoulders a little, like just take up some space here. A seat of dignity. A seat of belonging here. Of feeling welcome and invited here, wherever you have arrived. And when you feel that seat beneath you with your tall spine, you can close your eyes and allow your attention to come inward. It's noisy out there. Come in here. Come in here where there are insights. Come into this internal landscape where there's so much to observe and where inner peace can be found. Today we're using a quote by the Buddha as a platform for our practice. In the end, only three things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. How much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. My friends, I know you to be people who love deeply and greatly. I know you to be people who live gently and walk gently on the earth. And so today I'd like to dedicate this practice to helping us all get better at gracefully letting go of the things that are not meant for us. So I'd like you to take a few deep breaths with a sigh. And let's let that sigh be our first physical symbol of letting something go. Let's reach our arms overhead and stretch tall, either in your chair or on your block. And as you exhale, just let your arms drop. A little more of a forceful exhale. Sometimes it takes a little more effort. Inhale to lift. Exhale, drop. Kind of let them dangle. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, lift. Good, and we'll do that now a little more gracefully. So arms lift on the inhale, and let's let them slowly peel open, touching the ground on the exhale. Do a few of those with your breath, reaching and maybe even looking up, and then just with your own timing, exhale as you release the arms. Can you find here a gentleness, but also a gracefulness in this movement, in this letting the arms drop down gracefully? Let's add in a gentle twist. On the inhale, reach the arms high. And on the exhale, turn to your right. Let one hand come behind you and one hand to the knee. Exhale that whole breath out. And inhale back to center, switching sides. Starting to move with your own breath, side to side. twisting is another way that we can practice letting go or elimination. It's a practice we use for digestion. So speaking in a very literal sense, digestion is helping us let go of what is no longer meant for us. Food that has served us, and we let go of the waste. One more time to each side with this twisting motion. And as we return back to center, let's lift our arms overhead. We'll interlace the fingers, press the palms to the ceiling, and take a huge breath in here. Get even taller than your normal height. Sip more breath in. And on the exhale, palms turn down, begin to round your back. The knuckles reach forward, shoulder blades peel open. Pause about halfway down. Breathe into your back. Notice what's there, any tension, any tightness. And then keeping your hands clasped, we're going to act like we're turning a great big steering wheel. So we're going to drop one shoulder and then the other. Keeping your breath even and steady as you just find your way around your back. Back to neutral, the hands come to the knees. Let's pull the chest forward, take a sip of air in, seated cow, and then press on your legs to roll back, seated cat. Let's do a few of these with breath. Our breath is our absolute best teacher of how to gracefully let go of what is not meant for us. With every exhale, we let go of carbon dioxide, a toxin, a poison. A breath that is complete, it's no longer meant for us. We just let it go without any thought. Let's do one more time, pulling through and rounding back. And then come to the center. Bring your fingertips to the back of your head. Let your head press gently back into your fingertips. Inhale to the right side. Exhale, center. Inhale to the left. And exhale, center. And we're going to move a little more briskly. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So sniff. This is a kriya, a cleansing breath designed to help us purge anything in our respiratory system that is stuck. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's do one more each side. Pause in the center, take a deep breath in again. Arms reach high, hold your breath. Hold, and then slowly let your arms peel down again to your sides. Letting go. Beautiful. Let's bring ourselves around, curling the feet to the one side and coming to a tabletop position. We're going to shift forward and back. So if you're doing this in a chair, you might continue that seated cat and cow. Hands are a little bit more forward. We're going to inhale to a kneeling plank and exhale back towards child's pose. You're just going to move with your breath. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to bend. If your knees are a little sensitive, you can put a rolled up mat or blanket under your knees. This movement can be slow or a little faster, opening and closing the crease of the hips. So you might think of this as cleansing the space around your hips. Every time you come back, squeeze the crease of the hips. And we'll come back into child's pose, knees as wide as you like. Allow your head to come down either to the ground or your hands or maybe a block. And we're going to pause here to take several deep breaths. I invite you to move breath deep into the back of your body and sigh as you exhale. Exhaling out all the stagnant old breath that no longer serves us. It's no longer meant for us. It's been here too long. We're letting it go. And in its place comes something new, oxygen. Take one more deep breath into the back of your body with a long exhale. Begin to find your way back up to tabletop. Let's tuck our toes and lift into downward facing dog, hips to the sky, heels reaching for the earth. And then just begin to pedal your heels here. Move your body organically in some way that feels stretchy and playful, not right or wrong. Stretchy and playful. You can be moving your head, your shoulders, your hips, your feet. Let your chest sink down closer to the mat. Nod your head yes. Just let's loosen any tension in the head, the neck. Deep breath in with an audible exhale. And then we'll slowly walk our feet to meet our hands. Place enough bend in your knees that you feel your belly resting down on your legs. You can take your hands to your elbows in ragdoll or leave them on the floor, on the backs of the legs. Be here with a longer exhale. Exaggerate the length of that exhale. More breath moving out. Let's press our hands to shins and lengthen halfway. Find a nice flat spine. And then exhale. Again, that big forward fold breath. We'll do that a few times. Movement with breath. Half lift, forward fold. And then with a bend in the knees, sweep the arms high, extended mountain. Come up as high as you can, lift even taller. And begin to stretch from side to side. Take one wrist and pull over the side and then the other. Just feeling that space in the side of your body, up and over, up and over. And as you're doing this, press your feet into the earth. Feel that grounding sensation, that being held here through your feet to the earth. Arms reach high, and then again, let's slowly peel the arms open out to the sides. Good. Putting our weight solidly into our heels, let's shift the hips back and come into a chair. And we're going to fly the arms behind us as we come down here. So it kind of looks like a pose called airplane. On the inhale, scoop the fingers across the floor, come up and into a back bend. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. You can move slow or a little faster. Again, another Kriya, squeezing through the hips, followed by opening, compression, extension. You might just start to get little bubbles of awareness coming up of something that you've been holding on to that you were not meant to hold. It could be tension in your body. It could be stress. It could be a thought, a regret. As these things bubble up, imagine that you could just physically work them up and out of your body with these compressions and expansions. Let's do 2 more. And then inhale to extend all the way up, a little back bend, heart presses forward, and draw the hands to your heart. Pause here, feet on the earth, hands at the heart. Just pause here. Let's inhale, arms reach overhead, slow, super slow, sun salutation, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, slow motion, downward facing dog. Take your time. Inhale, forward plank pose, and you can be on your knees or your toes. Exhale, lower your body all the way down to the earth. Inhale to cobra, feeling the strength of your back. Exhale, lower down. Let's do that again. Let's feel that back body strength. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, lower. One more time. Breathe in, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Exhale, lower. Hands by the shoulders, press to knees, tuck the toes, lifting into downward facing dog. Again, stretchy and playful here. And then looking forward, let's bring our feet toward our hands, put that nice bend in the knees, scoop the arms high, extended mountain, a little back bend, and the hands come back to the heart. Pause, just pause. You might notice it's hard to pause. Body wants movement. Let's inhale, reach again. This time on the exhale, arms come behind, interlace the fingers, open up through the chest, broadening the collarbones. And on the exhale, bend your knees, topple over your legs, knuckles to the sky, head to the earth. And we're going to pause here for several breaths. We have a beautiful inversion here, blood flow to the brain. We have a heart opener. And we have length in the back of our body. Rooted here on the earth. Feeling the shape. Maybe you're feeling an edge. Maybe there's a little discomfort somewhere. I invite you to be here and just observe what's happening in your body in this posture. Long exhales. Let your hands come to your low back, release your fingers, and just let your arms dangle down to the floor. You might be noticing tingling in your fingers. Prana, energy, circulation. Press hands to the shins, lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, again, let's go to downward facing dog. Shifting forward into plank pose, knees or toes lower down to the earth. And this time, bring your fingertips to the floor, a little bit wider than the mat. We're gonna inhale, lift here, and exhale, lower. You can probably lift just a little bit higher with the arms in this position. Movement with breath. The exhale a little longer than the inhale. Hands come back to the shoulders, come up to your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. When you're ready, come forward, top of the mat, hands pressed to shins, lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Put a nice bend in the knees, scoop your arms high, extended mountain, maybe a back bend, and hands to heart. Pause. Pause again. Notice. I'm going to do a fun little kriya, another kriya, a cleansing practice. So take your feet wide. You can stay forward or turn sideways. Open up your hands so reach as far as you can to the corners. And then exhale, we'll do the first one slow and soft. Scoop down toward the earth. Chest stays lifted. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. And you can go as deep as your knees invite. We'll start to pick up the pace. These are called sunflowers, and we want to force the exhale. You can make the sh sound, especially if there's noise around you, or maybe it's a ha, or like you're blowing out candles on a birthday cake. I want you to get a little bit more vigorous movement going here. Again, that image of pumping, bringing out. We'll do 3 more. And on the inhale, reach high, and then just let this be receptive, like you're an antenna, reaching out. You've cleansed and released, and now you're receptive to something new, open. What do you receive here? Hands come to heart. Feet come close together. Pause. Maybe the heart's beating a little faster. Maybe breath got a little choppy. Notice. Let's reach our arms high. Big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose, knees or toes. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. And this time we'll move into Sphinx pose. So we'll take our forearms on the earth, spread the fingers wide. Elbows are right under the shoulders. And then imagine just pulling your belly button forward. So the elbows kind of squeeze back, the belly button pulls forward. Length, space. Muscles of the back working. You can imagine kind of squeezing the back body in order to open the front body. Brene Brown talks about this as having a strong back so we can have an open heart, soft heart. She speaks of that strong back as being our past, all that is behind us, gives us our strength so that we can stand with a soft heart, open to what's in front of us. Take another deep breath in here. And on the exhale, slowly lower to the earth. Hands by the shoulders, press to knees, tuck your toes, and gently, slowly come to downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Exhale, longer than the inhale. As we look forward, let's come to the top of our mats. Half lift, forward fold. Nice deep bend in our knees, arms sweep slowly up and slightly back. Hands to heart, pause. Pause to feel, pause to breathe, pause to notice. What's getting stirred up here? What's bubbling up? And once again, we'll take our feet wide. Toes turned out to the corners of our mat, and we're going to do another Kriya. This is actually one of my favorites. I want you to apologize in advance if you are upstairs and someone is downstairs, because we're going to make some noise on the floor. So we're going to inhale our arms out to the sides. Inhale again, hands to the sky. And on the exhale, I want you to imagine that you have something really heavy that you're just going to throw down. So we can go inhale, inhale, and then just throw. For extra credit, inhale, inhale, slap the floor. Inhale, inhale, slap the floor. Inhale, inhale, ha, ha, ha. So whatever you've got, whatever you've been carrying, it's just going to the earth. Inhale, inhale, ha. Snip a little more forcefully. Ha. Exhale a little more forcefully. Ha. I know you've got some frustration you've been holding on to. Let's let it go now. 3 more. Ha. Ha. And this time we'll hold the arms open again, this receptive antenna, taking in these cleared and empty spaces, what's possible. Turn your toes forward. Let your hands come down to your hips, and we're going to hinge from the hips and come into a wide forward fold. You might want to place something under your hands like a block, but allow your head to be below your heart. And then just kind of figure out wider feet, more narrow. Start some kind of gentle and organic movement in your body. It could be just shifting your weight or bending your knees. Play with a few different arm placements out front or to the sides or behind you. Stretchy and curious here. Breathe in. Let your exhale be longer than your inhale. Lift up halfway, come to either fingertips or blocks. Toes turn slightly out, and then just put another deep bend in the knees with really wide feet. Just slow bend and lift. Stretching around the hips. And then with that bend in the knees, let's bring our hands to our thighs. Torso comes upright. Inhale out to those 5 corners. And this is just a little more gentle action, coming down into goddess pose. Lifting straight up and coming back down. Strength, flexibility. And we're just holding this last one on the bottom. Open your arms out wide like you're holding the sun in your arms, the summer sun. You can keep your feet on the floor or lift your heels. A little balance challenge, a little more effort, steady breath. Longer exhale. Beautiful. Let those heels drop. Inhale the fingers high. And we're going to windmill the hands to the right side. So we bring ourselves down into a kneeling lunge. The right foot forward, left knee down on the mat. You can flatten out your back foot. And now we're just going to pause to check in with the left hip flexor. But while you're here, squeeze tightly through the right hip crease. So you've got 2 separate actions, compression on one side, expansion on the other. Compression and expansion. Squeezing something out of the right side, inviting something to the left. You can stay on that knee or tuck the toes, lift the knee, your choice. We're going to come up to high lunge. So you can use your knee if you'd like. Arms reach high. Now we have a little less compression in that right hip, a little more opening in the left. Let's grab our left wrist and bend our bodies toward the right side. Take a hold of your left wrist, pull up and slightly over. And as we come back to center, just drop that back heel. I'm going to face you. Drop the back heel. Interlace your fingers. Palms point together and fingers point up. And now we're just going to straighten that front leg. So I heard this pose this weekend called Sky Archer. Sky Archer. So the right leg is in front, straight. Left leg is back and turned out. Lift and lengthen. You might find yourself coming into a little back bend. Heart lifted. Breathe deep. On the exhale, let's lower the arms to the sides, moving into pyramid pose. Hands right at the crease of the hips. Start to shift forward and soften that front knee and come down over the right leg. As the forehead starts to reach toward the right shin, can you press your right hip back a little bit? Press your right hip back. So your hips are squared. Your legs are in this pyramid shape. Long exhales. Lift and lengthen halfway. Move your body toward the center. Come back to your wide straddle. And we're going to bend and straighten the knees a few more times. See if you notice any difference. Right side to left side. And then keeping the legs straight, lengthen through the head and fold your torso down. Do that a few times. Lengthen. You're going to really start to see hamstrings here. Do that one more time. Lengthen and fold. Start to make your way toward your left foot, and we'll drop the right knee down to the mat. Kneeling lunge. So we've switched. Now we have compression in the left hip and length in the right hip. Close your eyes and see if you can get inside your body and exaggerate compression on one side, expansion on the other. Wringing something out on your left, opening something on the right. And then tucking the toes, lifting that back knee. And you can stay on the mat if that's working better for you. Arms reach overhead. Find your balance. And once you feel your stability, grab your right wrist and come on up and over. Side body stretch. This can be small and still give great sensation. Moving back to center, free your hands, drop your back heel. Moving into that sky archer position. So we'll straighten the front leg, hands interlace, lift up and lengthen. If your neck is comfortable, you can look up. You're just pressing your left foot into the earth and pulling your body up away, open, receptive, free. As we exhale, let's bring our hands to our hips and begin that hinge from the hips, long spine, coming over the left leg, pyramid pose. And fingertips on the floor, and you can just lower. The forehead makes its way toward the shin. Yeah. Good. And then maybe shift that left hip back. See if you can feel that length in the back of you. Beautiful. Go ahead and return to a wide straddle, fingertips walking to that wide edge of your mat. And this time, just turn your toes out and start to lunge your knees right and left, right and left. Just take a nice little side to side motion. You can be upright or you can have your hands on the floor. Exploring now, you'll find adductor or inner thigh. And let's come to center for a twist. So turn all 10 toes to the side of your mat. The right hand, let's see, which way do we do this? Left hand comes under your face. Right arm opens up. And as you lift the hand to the sky, the shoulders are stacked. If that doesn't feel good, you can just wrap that top arm behind your back, rest it on your lower back. But breathe into this posture for elimination, for digestion, for wringing out. As we come back to center, we'll switch. Right arm down, left arm up. Nice big reach. And lowering the fingertips. Heel toe your feet closer together. And then whatever position you are at on your mat, see if you can shift to come one more time into downward facing dog. Invitation to take a vinyasa if you like. And we're going to meet in a seated position on the earth with a big exhale. Very, very nice. Let's find easy seats. So again, if you need to have something underneath you to help you sit a little more upright, that seat of dignity. Before we roll down on our backs, we're going to do a really fun breathing practice. This is called Kapalabhati breath, or breath of fire. This is a forceful exhale. So the next time you're sitting in traffic and you're really frustrated, you can do this breath behind your steering wheel. So it sounds like this. And the action comes from the belly, forcing or pushing the breath out. So I'd like you to take one hand and just place it here just above the navel, and it can also be a soft fist. As that hand pumps in, imagine that it's causing the action of the exhalation. And you can make the sh sound, or like blowing out candles. You can also use your nose. And we want about one exhale every second. So I want you to keep going. We're going to do this for about 1 minute. And try not to worry about the inhale, just exhale. The belly gets more forceful. It starts to spring in and push that breath out. Let's go 10 more. Exhale all the air out. Take a deep breath in and hold. And slowly exhale all the breath out. Pause here, bringing your attention into the crown of your head. That's called the skull shining breath. See if you notice any lightness in your head. Let's reach our arms up high one more time from this grounded seat. Arms, hands, fingers lifting, 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 even higher. Pull higher, pull higher. And then gather your hands at your heart. And just notice, is anything lighter? Have you released anything so far in this practice? Just notice. And we'll release our hands and start to make our way down onto our backs to complete this practice. If you have a block or a bolster that you like to use under your hips, you can use that. We're going to first draw knees into chest and move around a little bit on your back. Give a really tight squeeze. So this is fun. This is called Apanasana, the wind relieving pose. Yet another way we can release what no longer serves us. Hold your right knee into your chest. Let the left leg fall to the floor and just squeeze this knee as tightly as you can. And maybe even let it come outside the rib cage. So there's compression in the right and length and space in the left. Give that a nice tight squeeze, compression and extension. Exhale all the way out. And then draw the left knee in and switch. So squeeze the left knee nice and tight. Right leg falls. Let your leg come outside your torso a bit. And now the opposite. Compress the left side, open the right. Squeeze as hard as you can. We're wringing things out. Let the exhaled breath carry with it something that has been stuck here. And as you release that foot, place the foot on the floor. We're going to come into bridge pose. And if you do have something to place under your hips, let's come into supported bridge. Less effort, same benefit. So you can take your pillow, your block to any of its levels, and then just let your hips be passively open here. Some people like to extend their legs out and open. You can see what that feels like for you. And just close your eyes and begin to walk through this doorway to relaxation. Imagine walking into a beautiful door that opens up into a space that is light and quiet, spacious and inviting. And you're the only one invited into this space. You've reserved this space for yourself for a few minutes of peace and calm. If you're feeling comfortable here, you can stay in this supported bridge. If you prefer to remove your prop and lower your body down into Shavasana, you can do that now. This is your time for stillness, quiet, for peace. I lay myself down on the welcoming ground, the earth's spine becoming mine. Peace seeps into heavy limbs and slows my heartbeat to the pace of nature. I take refuge in the quiet and let my burdens go, one by one, until the earth and I both float in the same vast and holy silence. As you continue resting here, see if you can feel the earth holding you, supporting you, receiving you. And just imagine for a moment that she, like a very loving mother, desires to receive your burdens, has a desire to take from you what you've been holding. It maybe was never yours to hold. Imagine her softly prying that out of your hands that are gripping, receiving this burden from you, allowing you to emerge a little lighter. Let's all take one more deep breath together with a soft sigh as we exhale. And we'll begin to find our way back to vertical, back to a seat, holding this awareness, this tenderness as we transition. And we'll just gather our hands here at our heart, acknowledging anything that we've consciously chosen to set aside, at least for now. And also just acknowledging that we are walking among humanity that's carrying a heavy burden. May we live large and walk softly around each other's hearts as we gracefully release what was not meant for us. Thank you for being here, my friends. Namaste.